then you had, this was also the Sith Lord. You could go in and get the Anakin with the helmet, and the Darth Maul 2-pack was at Toys R Us. The Darth Maul Sith speeder bike, or Sith speeder, was available at Walmart only. And then there's also the 12-inch Han Solo and Tauntaun.
Why does the company do that kind of deal, where they just make it available at some stores and not others?
They just make a deal. Hasbro makes deals with certain toy shops, Walmarts, all the different department stores, just because they know it's kind of, I don't know, I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine type thing, because they know it has the Star Wars name, so they're going to sell a lot of them. It gets people into their stores, as well as Star Wars. Hasbro's going to be selling that many more to that particular department store.
Mm-hmm.
So they've done a lot of that. And it's not just Star Wars, a lot of other toys do that same thing. I'm trying to pick out a few of the other toys, or what would be considered toys. Like these are called deformed figures because they're miniatures. This was available in China. They made them in all the different characters from Episode 1. For some reason, the European market, the Asian market, was really into, at that particular time in the late 90s, into making a lot of the characters from different movies in a smaller form. So they called them deformed, or they came out with actually deformed walkers too, little walker toys that you could wind up.
Why did they like that?
I do not know, but Japan and China were really big into making.
Yeah, I guess it's that Japan cutiness.
I guess so.
Cutie aesthetics.
Make everything look like they're little kids.
Yeah, very cute. That's cute.
Yep. These are kind of neat too as far as toys. They made Star Wars Micro Machines, and these are exclusive. They were JCPenney's exclusives, and they made these two sets with the figures, and they're gold plated. So the set here has the X-Wing fighter and the Boba Fett Slave One, and this one over here has the Imperial emblem and the Imperial shuttle. So again, you could buy those exact same Micro Machines in the single package, not gold plated. But if you wanted to get them gold plated, you had to buy them this particular set. I have all my Hallmark ornaments, watches. The vintage Max Rebo band, the vintage Ewok Village, vintage Tauntaun.
I had all those. I had that one you push the button and his legs go up and down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that.
Sure does. Yeah.
Is that what people do when they come through here? They sort of like, I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I'll show you some of my.
I had those too. Yeah.
Did you?
They open up and all the things.
All the figures. Yeah. These are all my loose figures. I have all 125 action figures that they made. These are all my loose ones.
So they made it exactly the number to fill it.
Yeah. I had a lot of duplicates in here, but yeah, they made exactly the right number. And then both of these are also filled with all the different ones. A lot of these are filled with the Power of the Force, which is some of the harder action figures to get, like the Luke Stormtrooper that you could take his helmet off, the Imperial Dignitary, Anakin Skywalker, Luke and Poncho. So
now,
all the
some
loose
of these
figures.
are misfiled, I can see here.
Yeah, yeah. Well, see, they made this case originally for Empire Strikes Back, and had all the main characters in here. And then they made this case for Return of the Jedi, but they basically made the same figures that would fit in this case, also in this case, with a few extra for just that particular movie. And I have a lot of duplicates in here because some of these, like the Walrus Man, Greedo, Snaggletooth, was my brother's. Well, here's the interesting thing too. As far as toys go, or marketing of toys, I know John would probably tell you this too, if I can find him. It's probably in this one.
Who is it?
Have you ever seen the blue Snaggletooth?
No.
They made a blue Snaggletooth, and the story behind that is that they made, Hasbro gave, or got the rights to do the Snaggletooth action figure for the original action figure back in 1978. But Hasbro only got pictures of this character from the waist up. So when they made the action figure, they made him full size. Well, in the movie, he's only about 4 feet tall. But they didn't know that. Well, they had already made a bunch of these action figures, and they were available only through Sears. So this blue, full-size blue Snaggletooth is one of the harder, more rare action figures to get. The original...
He's the mistake.
He was the mistake.
It's because it's usually the mistake that's more valuable to collectors.
Exactly. I can find him. Where in the world he is? Original blue Snaggletooth. Oh, there he is. Right there. So, this is what the Snaggletooth that they made for the action figure playset back in '78 made, the error. And this is what the Snaggletooth should look like. The right set. So that's a little bit, a little bit of history on how the Snaggletooth or how the marketing kind of got mixed up a little bit.
That's really interesting. And can you talk just for a second about how it is often the mistakes they make that end up being what collectors are searching for?
Yeah, there are a lot of collectors that collect, they call them variations or variants on those particular action figures. They'll see an action figure carded, and it'll have a mistake. It'll have the wrong printing on a card. It'll have the wrong character's name on the card, or the action figure itself will be missing a gun, or it will be painted wrong, the wrong color. It'll have a different colored cape. The hair will be different color, and a lot of collectors will consider that a variation. It really depends on what collector you talk about or talk to, whether that variation is considered rarer or more expensive. You talk to a lot of collectors, and again, it doesn't have to do necessarily Star Wars, but all collecting aspects. I don't consider a variation to be any more rare than the normal carded figure, because I think I want a carded figure that Hasbro meant for it to be, the original thing. But it's kind of neat to see a couple of variations and see the errors that has been made over the years, whether they put the wrong name or the wrong color on a product. And a lot of collectors spend a lot of their time and money and effort looking for variants only.
Yeah,
they're rip-offs, non-authorized, I guess, non-sanctioned from Lucas.
I want to be playing with those for a second.
Okay. This is an original Cylon Raider, where the wings pop out, and it has an action figure, a small action figure inside. Now these were made by Mattel in 1978. The rockets fire out. Mattel ended up recalling a lot of these toys, and the later ones, the later versions of these ships, both the Colonial Warrior and the Cylon Raider, had the rockets glued in. And the reason for that is because a small child choked and died on one of these rockets. And Mattel ended up gluing all the rockets in permanently so that didn't happen again. Yeah, I have the Cylons, and these are some of the